Good morning, it's Monday. My name's Ian. I sell books on eBay, in case you didn't know. We've got 8 orders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, well maybe 10. Between 8 and 10 orders going out today. A couple of other wee things I just wanted to mention, have a chat about. Yeah, interesting bits and bobs. Anyway, first up, we'll look at a couple of orders and then I'll tell you where I've gone wrong, so hopefully others don't do the same. Anyway, first up, we have 5 Stuart McBride books going out, all paperbacks, all in good condition as ever, and they've sold for £12.99. That's including postage. Next, another bundle. A few bundles today, which is always nice. And these bundles have all come from my variations listings, so people can go in and choose their own bundles instead of the ones that I have made up. So next we've got 5 Christopher Brookmeyer, a couple of Chris Brookmeyers. Is it 2, 3? Oops, I'm dropping them everywhere. 3 Chris Brookmeyers, but he changed his name. 1 Ambrose Parry, which is Christopher Brookmeyer, and who is it he writes with? There's someone else he writes with, and for the life of me I can never remember who it is. Yeah, it doesn't say in that one, but Ambrose Parry is Christopher Brookmeyer and someone else, and then a real Christopher Brookmeyer, A Snowball in Hell, an old hardcover of that. And the 5 of those went for £13.99. So again, another nice bundle sale. Next, we have another bundle. Again, this comes from the variation listing, and it is some Dork Diaries. I've said before, these sell well. With Crush Catastrophe, TV Star, we've got a Double Dork, How to Dork Your Diary, and Party Time, which for some reason I have listed as Part Time, but people still seem to know what it is, so that's all right. And the 5 of those went for £12.54. So nice little bundle sales. Right, next 2 are bundles as well, but I've cocked up. I've made a mistake. I've got a lot of these variation listings, you know, well over 200 different authors where I've got them listed up, and it's build your own book bundle. So I list up all the titles I've got, and people can choose 3, 5, 10, 12, 2, whatever they want, and make their own bundle and get discounts because they buy multiples, which works really well for me. It's the most successful way I've found of listing low value, mass-produced fiction paperbacks and hardcovers, which is where this problem comes in. So there's a couple of these listings that have just stopped performing, and I wasn't sure why. I know things go up and down and all around, but I couldn't work out why they had come to such a sticky stop. And I've been in and I've looked at them over the last few weeks. Oh, what's this, what's that? Do we need to change the price, and do we need to change the promotions? There's a good quantity there. And then when I was digging through looking for the rogue T authors which had vanished, by the way, I found them. There was a stack that had got mixed up with the S's, so it must have been when I've been reconciling previously. I've moved them about, but found them, so that's all sorted out. But in digging through all the different shelves and lots that I've got, I realised that although, for example, David Baldacci had 30-40 titles, you know, quantity wise 30 or 40 of them available, but most of them were hardcovers. Hardcovers do not sell as well as paperbacks. They do sell, but they do not sell as well as paperbacks. So that would explain why I think I've got 30-40 of these books available, but actually I only had about a dozen paperbacks, which is right on the edge of not being enough for people to go in and have a choice so they can choose 5 books. Some of those are multiples of the same title, so that reduces it even further, and that is why that particular listing has not been selling as well as it usually does. And then when I've looked further afield, I've discovered it's been a similar situation for quite a few different authors. Either I've got a half decent quantity but half of them are all one title, or far too many are hardcovers compared to the paperbacks available, because it's the paperbacks that really sell well in these bundles. So I've spotted that, and I now know what I need to do to fix it, and that's go out and find more paperbacks. My sourcing of late, I've not been able to pick up as many of the common authors that I usually do. They do come in flurries, but quite a few of them have been dry for a wee while, so I've been limiting where I go to source, because it's, you know, it's all down to cash flow. I've only got so much cash that I've got available to go out and buy stuff, so I've been using that in the one big place where I know I get kind of first dibs on everything that comes in, so therefore you're more likely to pick up the bangers within the lot that you get, which is quite successful, and I get some good books. But I'm going to have to go back out to some of my other spots where they're still really good price and they've got a really good selection, but it's all bread and butter. So I have been avoiding them of late. So I've got 3 or 4 places I'm going to try and get to this afternoon and see if I can stock up on those bread and butter books and get them all listed up and going. So rookie mistake, not keeping track of exactly what that stock is, just looking at that top number, quantity 40, that's great. Unfortunately, 30 of them are the slow sellers, the hardcovers. So I've sorted all of that out, and I've actually taken the hardcovers out of some of these listings so that the number that's there is paperbacks, and I'm going to bundle up my list of hardcovers differently to make sure that I can keep proper track of what I've got at any given point. So yeah, that was frustrating, but it's fixed now, so hopefully that will help me improve sales once I know what is actually going on with my listings. Anyway, next bundle, Beast Quest. And this is another one where when I find these, you tend to find 10 of them, 20 of them at once, and I've not found any for a wee while. So instead of having 2 shelf full, I've got half a shelf at the moment, but still 5 of them have sold, and I'm always keen to find more, because these are the types of books that you'll find, you know, in the kids section, or maybe it's like 7 for £1 or 10 for £1, so you can really stack them up. They don't sell for a massive price, but £9.96 for the 5 of them is still pretty fair as far as I am concerned. So Adam Blade's Beast Quest, always good. Right, the next one is a bundle that I very, very rarely sell. I've got a good few titles in stock, but they've never really moved. Maybe like a lot of other listings, I get one sale and that'll kind of trigger the algorithm, and a few more people will get sent that way who are likely to buy, and I might sell a few more. But we've got 3 Lisa Gardner books. So right behind you, The Killing Hour and Never Tell. She's certainly a popular author, but I've just not had much luck so far with those ones. But those 3 have sold, so let's see if we can get some more shifted. And the 3 of them went for £8.49. So not huge sales today, no big massive crazy value ones, but everything counts, doesn't it? Right, I mentioned this lady the other day because she sells fast on this particular title whenever we get her. It's Donna Tartt again, The Secret History. So unfortunately this is the last copy I've got of this at the moment, but it really does sell well. That's, 4 listed in the last week, 4 sold in the last week, and all of them have sold for £9 exactly. £5 and a penny plus £3.99 postage. So that works really, really well. Cover price is £9.99. Obviously it's an excellent, pretty much as new condition, to be perfectly honest with you. So somebody is getting that a bit cheaper than, full cover price. But yeah, Donna Tartt, The Secret History, that's definitely one to keep your eye out for, because it just sells and sells and sells. So yeah, Donna Tartt, Secret History, £9. Right, the rest are all single books as well. The next one is D.H. Lawrence, Lady Chatterley's Lover. So one of the Penguin Classics collections. It's in good condition. It's got a couple of wee bumps along the road, but £6.84 for that one there. No, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about this instead. Looking at this as a business, and I've spoken about this before and I will speak about it again, but looking at this as a business, at the moment I'm a hunter-gatherer, so every day I need to go out and pick enough berries, catch a couple of rabbits, feed the family, chop some firewood, keep everybody warm, right? Hunter-gatherer, that's what this business is at the moment. But I need to move on to the next level of civilization, you know, I need to get to that kind of agriculture stage, which means putting aside some of the berries that you pick so you can plant them and grow berry bushes so you know you'll have them, you know what I mean? Keeping a couple of rabbits to breed them so that you'll have the rabbits, right? You get it. To do that, I need to make sure that I'm putting up enough value every day to sell enough value every day to get to that kind of steady state. And looking at what that looks like, so to make £100 a day profit, assuming that my kind of balance stays the same, you know, a third to eBay, a third in postage, a third in profit, then that means I need to be listing about £300 a day in stock, you know, sales value, which is about 100 typical low value books or a few different bundles and bits and pieces. So I've charted it out for the end of the month. You won't be able to see that, but working out that if that equates to say £10,000 in sales in a month that would need to be listed, that's like 320 quid's worth of items a day to be listed. So that could be 100 separate items, you know, adding to my variation listings, putting up new listings, or it could be a mixture of that and some bundles, a couple of higher value items in there as well, just to keep that value up. But that is going to be a challenge, because at everyday regular prices, I would probably have to be paying like £3 for a pound to go out every day and find enough books to get that stock up. So that means £300 worth of sales value is, you know, 75 quid worth of stock, 75 to £100 worth of stock every day just to get that stuff up and listed. Now I keep telling myself that that's wrong, that number, and it can't be, but 100 books, yeah, it is wrong, completely wrong. 100 books would cost me 30 quid a day to go out and buy and bring back in. If I'm average profit is 40 to 50 pounds a day at the moment, then that's quite a big scary number and a chunk of that. So I'm going to have to be a wee bit clever and work out how I can do that. The aim is £320 a day every day of the week, so that's 7 days a week. I'd like to not be listing 7 days a week, but we'll see how that goes, and some higher value ones, we'll kick that in there. But I'm kind of curious as to how close to that I can stay throughout, and at what point I'll actually start making that level of sales to cover that level of listing and income. So at what point will I consistently be hitting £320 worth of sales every single day? And it's a long way from that at the moment. Typically it's about £100 a day in sales I've been doing, and that's been quite consistent for the last few months. So to treble that is a huge thing to do. But yeah, so I'm going to be charting that out, keeping track of it, and we'll kind of let you know how that goes along. I need to remember when I'm listing stuff to actually record what I've listed. If it's a new listing, it's easy enough because you just go back into your active listings and see what's been listed that day, and you can add it up. But a lot of what I put up goes on to listings that already exist. You know, it's increasing quantities. So that means I have to keep a note of what I'm doing and actually count out what is going up there so that I know how much has been listed. So I've had a look at what I've got ready to go up today, and I can do that £300. That's fine. That'll be probably an hour or two worth of listing to do that with what I've got at the moment. But like I say, I'm going to go out and see if I can pick up some more of my bread and butters, and they're much quicker to list. If I've got 10 John Grishams, I go into the John Grisham listing and it's changing 10 quantities and back out. So it takes, you know, a minute to update a quantity of 10. You know, a minute and 10 seconds to update a quantity of 20. You know, it's that kind of scale we're looking at there. So that's why the bread and butter ones are good as well, because you get a lot of value added to your listings without it taking a huge amount of time. If you're doing new listings all day, it takes a lot longer. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that. I need to be keeping track of not just what the sales are coming in and, you know, my average buy price and all of these things, but how much I'm actually putting on every single day. It feels over the last month that I've been putting on enough, but I know there's some days where I've added on maybe 50, 60 pounds worth of listings, other days where it's been, you know, a few £100s, but I don't actually know how that's worked out over the course of a month as to what that daily average would be, and maybe that daily average is what I am selling. So I could be, you know, at that kind of nirvana point at the moment where I am selling what I list, and quantity stays roughly the same, my total listing value stays roughly the same. It goes up a wee bit and then it drops down a wee bit, so that probably is where I am at the moment. So what happens if I can increase that possibly quite dramatically and get that moving along? Anyway, we shall see. Let's have another look at another sale, and that is, it's a game. This was mixed in with the books a couple of weeks ago, so I just grabbed it. It's in, and get it out of the case, acceptable condition I listed it as, because it definitely has a couple of wee scuffs. Untested, I do not have a GameCube to test that on, but I listed it up anyway, and it sold for £8. So it wasn't looking for, I think this can sell for like 10 to 15 in good condition, so I stuck it up at £8 to see what would happen, and it sold. So that's that one out the door. We've got VAT and everything to pay in that, so the price comes down and down and down. Right, next we have the Wombles, Elizabeth Beresford. So the Wombles at Work, and that sold for £6.84. Picked up a few Wombles books a few months ago, and they've just been dripping out. I expected somebody to buy them as a bundle, and I should maybe have listed them just as a bundle, but they've gone out in singles here and there. Right, next we have another single book, Never Had It So Good by Dominic Sandbrook. So a history of Britain from Suez to the Beatles, 1956 to 1963. Again, really good condition. I think it's never been read. It does have a wee tiny turn in the bottom corner there, but that sold on its own for £8.99. And as I am doing this, another sale has just popped in, which is a bundle of Manda Sue Heller paperbacks. It's a 5-book bundle. It's one of the ones that I've just wrapped up and stuck out in the garage because it was a pre-made bundle. Otherwise it would have been sitting behind me right there. That's why I had a wee look a moment ago. I thought, oh girl, that's going outside. But that sold for £10 for the 5 paperbacks. So I've got a few of the, you know, the cheaper paperbacks that I have just pre-bundled of late to see if a better variety of listing types can help improve sales as well, and it seems to be going quite well from that one. So a tenner for 5 paperbacks. They've cost me £1.25. They'll cost me £3.50 to post, so is that about £4.25? The listing fees are going to be about, none of these are promoted. That's the other thing, I've not promoted any of them, or if I have, it's at like 5%. So the listing fees and that will be a couple of quid, so I'm going to make about £1 a book, slightly less, but about £1 a book for those 5 going out there. So maybe £4.20 in total profit I might walk away from on that one, which is quite nice in itself. So I can't show you that because it's not here to show you. I'll need to go and grab it and package it up and get it out the door. But that is yet another sale. Let's just refresh and see if there's any more coming. So exciting. I have all the wee chimey thing turned off because, to be honest, it does me not. But yeah, anyway, so that's 11 sales in total. Total value of those sales is, drum roll whilst I have a drink of coffee, £107. So a third to eBay, a third in post, and a third in profit. So about £35 maybe, if I'm lucky. About £35 in profit from that wee stack going out there. Took me 5 minutes to pick them all. Well, let's call it 6 minutes, because I'll need to go to the garage and grab them and come back in. It'll take me 10 minutes or so to get them packed up, and then when I'm driving past the post office, I drop them off. I don't have to queue and wait for them all to be scanned. I just leave them with the guys and they scan them, and I pick up my receipts later on. Or if I'm going past the Royal Mail delivery centre, which I might be actually today, they just beep, 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 scan them straight in and out in a minute and gone. So it's very little effort for that profit. And in theory, that means that I would have an hour to list today where I'm paid for it, but I'll be doing an awful lot more than that as it goes. So a little effort to get them processed and out the door, but then more work on top of that to try and improve it for the next day. So yeah, £107 in sales, 11 orders, nothing spectacular, but it just keeps ticking over. It's nice and steady as it goes. And that's it for today. The only other thing to mention is we've got the big sale this evening, Monday the 19th of February. So if I'm saying this evening and you're watching this after the 19th, it ain't this evening, it was yesterday or a week ago or a month ago or a year ago or whenever. But sale going on tonight, 7 o'clock, so it'll just be a live stream. If you're interested in picking up some bundle bargains or even some wee collectibles, then all books of course, then why not tune in. Only subscribers can bid, just to try and keep it a wee bit tidier, and there's various links attached to it with how it'll all work, which I'll explain to you on the sale, and a full list of the titles. I uploaded a video yesterday just going through all of the items that will be available, so if you're interested in having a wee look at that, please do. In fact, I'll leave a link to that one at the end of this video so that you can click on that and go and have a wee browse, and if there's anything that you're interested in, you can join us and we'll run through it, expecting it to last between an hour and an hour and a half. So if there's particular things you're interested in, there's 40 items over an hour and a half, 90 minutes, so you can work out roughly where they might be if you just want to try and drop in and catch them. Anyway, that is all for now, so I will say love you, see you, bye.